There's a resume sitting on my desk right now, and I can't stop staring at it. My hands are literally shaking. The name at the top, Emma Mitchell, my sister. The same sister my parents threw my entire future away for 10 years ago. The same sister who got her fancy art degree while I was left with nothing but broken dreams and a mountain of debt. And now she's sitting in my waiting room, about to walk through that door and beg me for a job as my receptionist in my medical practice. And what I'm about to say to her, God, I've waited 10 years for this moment. Stay with me, because what happens in the next 20 minutes is going to blow your mind. Hey everyone, my name is Dr. Sarah Mitchell, and yeah, you heard that right, doctor. But let me tell you something, the road to that title, it almost killed me. And the people who nearly destroyed my dreams, my own parents. I'm 32 years old now, and I run one of the top dermatology practices in Boston. But a decade ago, I was a devastated 22-year-old whose entire world had just been ripped apart by the two people who were supposed to love me most. Let me take you back to where this nightmare started. Growing up, I was always the responsible daughter. You know the type, right? Straight A's, never missed curfew, helped with dishes without being asked, babysat my younger sister for free. That was me. Perfect, obedient Sarah. My sister Emma was 3 years younger, and oh my God, we were like night and day. She was the artsy one. Messy room, terrible grades, but incredibly talented with a paintbrush. She could create these amazing paintings that would make you stop and stare. And my parents? They absolutely worshipped her for it. Honestly, I didn't mind at first. I had my own dreams. From the time I was 12 years old and watched a doctor stitch up my arm after I fell off my bike, I knew exactly what I wanted to be. A doctor. I volunteered at hospitals every summer. I shadowed physicians. I took every single AP science class my high school offered, even when my counselor said it was too much. I killed myself studying. And you know what? It paid off. I got accepted to Boston University's pre-med program with a partial scholarship. I literally cried when I opened that acceptance letter. This was it. Everything I'd worked for was finally happening. College was brutal. Pre-med isn't for the faint of heart. Organic chemistry alone made me question my entire existence. I'd be in the library at 2 a.m., crying over molecular structures while my roommates were out partying. But I pushed through. I worked part-time at CVS to help cover expenses. I studied until my eyes burned. I had a plan, and nothing was going to stop me. Graduate, ace the MCAT, get into med school, become a dermatologist. Simple.by my senior year, I'd done the impossible. I scored a 516 on my MCAT. I got accepted to 3 different medical schools. 3. And I chose Tufts University School of Medicine. It wasn't a full ride, but they offered me decent financial aid, and I'd saved up about $15,000 from working. My parents would need to contribute about $30,000 total over 4 years. I'd already done the math. I'd take loans for the rest, work summers, scrimp and save. It would be tight, but I'd make it work. I remember the exact moment I told my parents I got in. It was a Tuesday evening. My mom was making dinner, and my dad was reading the newspaper. I walked into the kitchen holding my laptop, barely able to contain my excitement. Mom, Dad, I got in. I got into medical school, my mom screamed. Actually screamed with joy. She hugged me so tight I couldn't breathe. My dad stood up, and I swear I saw tears in his eyes. That's my girl. I'm so proud of you, Sarah. Even Emma seemed happy for me, which was rare because usually any attention on me made her sulk for days. For one beautiful moment, I felt like maybe, just maybe, I was finally the golden child. That feeling lasted exactly 2 weeks. I was home for spring break, working on my laptop at the kitchen table, researching medical school housing options. When my parents called me into the living room, both of them were sitting on the couch, and they had these weird expressions on their faces. Serious, uncomfortable. My stomach immediately dropped because I knew that look. That was the we need to have a difficult conversation look. Sarah, honey, sit down, my mom said, and her voice was shaking. I sat in the armchair across from them, my heart starting to race. What's going on? Is someone sick? My dad cleared his throat 3 times before speaking. We need to talk about medical school, okay? My mouth went dry. What about it? We've been going over our finances, he said, not making eye contact. And with your mother's hours getting cut at work and the new property taxes, we've looked at the numbers and we can't afford to help you with the 30,000. The room tilted, just slightly, but I tried to stay calm, tried to be understanding. That's okay. I can take out more loans. It'll be harder, but I can make it work. My mom was crying now, actually crying, and that's when I knew something worse was coming. There's something else, she whispered. Emma got accepted to the Rhode Island School of Design. Time stopped. RISD, one of the most prestigious and expensive art schools in the entire country. That's great for Emma, I said slowly, my brain trying to process where this conversation was going but refusing to accept it. Sarah, RISD costs $65,000 a year, my dad said, finally looking at me. That's over $260,000 for 4 years. Emma didn't get any scholarships. My heart stopped. Literally stopped. Wait, what are you saying right now? My mom reached for my hand, but I pulled away. Sweetie, Emma's art is special. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for her. She might never get another chance like this. I felt like I was underwater, like I was drowning. And I might never get another chance at medical school. Mom, I've been working toward this since I was 12 years old. You can always reapply to med school later, my dad said, like he was talking about postponing a haircut. Medical schools will always be there, but Emma needs to pursue her passion now, while she's young and inspired. I actually started laughing. A hysterical, disbelieving laugh. Are you kidding me? Are you actually kidding me right now? You want me to give up medical school so Emma can go to art school? We're not asking you to give it up forever, my mom said, her voice pleading. Just defer for a few years, work, save money, and then reapply when Emma graduates and we can afford to help you. Do you have any idea how medical school deferrals work? My voice was getting louder. I couldn't control it. Most schools won't even let you defer. I'd have to reapply from scratch, retake the MCAT, go through the entire nightmare process again. And there's absolutely no guarantee I'd get in again. Do you understand what you're asking me to do? Sarah, please. My dad's voice was getting stern now. Don't make this harder than it needs to be. We're a family. Families make sacrifices for each other. Emma needs this opportunity, and what about what I need? I was crying now, hot tears streaming down my face. What about the fact that I've sacrificed everything for this? What about all those nights I studied instead of having a social life? What about all those hours I worked instead of enjoying college? What about me? That's when Emma walked in, and I'll never forget the look on her face. This satisfied little smirk, like she'd just won a prize, like my entire life was a competition and she'd finally beaten me. Sarah, thank you so much for doing this for me, she said, and her voice was so fake, so sickeningly sweet. This really means everything. Something inside me snapped. I'm not doing anything for you. I haven't agreed to any of this. My mom stood up, her face hard. Sarah Elizabeth Mitchell, we have made our decision. We are paying for Emma's education. If you want to go to medical school, you'll need to figure it out on your own. That's final. I looked at all 3 of them standing there. My parents who were supposed to protect me, support me, believe in me. My sister who was looking at me with that awful smirk. And something in my chest just shattered. Like glass breaking. Fine, I said, and my voice came out cold, dead. But I want you to remember this moment. All 3 of you. Because this is the moment you lost me. Don't ever ask me for anything. Ever again. I went upstairs, threw everything I owned into garbage bags. I didn't even have proper suitcases and I left. At 10 p.m. on a Tuesday night, I walked out of that house and I never looked back. My best friend Rachel let me crash on her couch. For 3 days, I didn't eat. I just cried. I cried until I thought I might die from it, but then something changed. On day 4, I woke up and I wasn't sad anymore. I was furious, absolutely furious, and I made a decision. I wasn't going to let them win. I wasn't going to let them destroy my dreams. I called Tufts and poured my heart out to the admissions counselor. She was sympathetic but couldn't help. I'd have to reapply. So I did something insane. I took out massive private loans with interest rates that would make you sick. I worked full-time as a pharmacy technician during the day, went to night school for my remaining prerequisites, and studied for the MCAT again. For 2 years, I lived in a studio apartment that had roaches and a bathroom I shared with 3 other tenants. I ate ramen noodles and stolen ketchup packets from McDonald's. I didn't go out. I didn't date. I didn't do anything except work and study and survive. And I reapplied, got into 3 schools again. This time I chose a state school with better financial aid. It wasn't my dream school, but it was medical school. I was going to be a doctor whether my family believed in me or not. During those 4 years of med school, my parents called me exactly 5 times, always about Emma. Emma's art was featured in a gallery. Emma's professor says she's the next Picasso. Never once did they ask how I was doing. Never once did they acknowledge that their other daughter was drowning in debt, working herself to exhaustion, but still becoming a doctor. Emma plastered social media with her perfect art school life. Photos of her paintings, her studio, her artsy friends drinking wine at gallery openings. My parents were in half those photos, smiling like proud peacocks. It was like I'd ceased to exist. I graduated medical school with honors. Top 15% of my class. My parents didn't come to my graduation. They were at Emma's art exhibition in Providence. Rachel was there. My friends were there. I didn't need them. I did my residency in dermatology at Massachusetts General Hospital. 3 years of 80-hour weeks. But I loved it. I was good at it. My attending said I had a gift, the perfect combination of technical skill and genuine compassion. After residency, I took a massive risk and opened my own practice. It was tiny at first, just me, 1 exam room, and a part-time receptionist, but I worked like a machine. Within 3 years, I had 4 exam rooms, 3 nurses, and was hiring a full-time receptionist. That was last month. We got 42 applications. My office manager Jennifer handed me 5 resumes on a Wednesday morning. I was drinking coffee, casually flipping through them, when I saw it. Emma Mitchell, my sister, applying to be my receptionist. I literally dropped the coffee. It spilled everywhere. Jennifer rushed in. Dr. Mitchell, are you okay? I couldn't speak. I just stared at that name, Emma Mitchell. Bachelor of Fine Arts, wrist. Then what? Barista for 8 months. Retail associate for 5 months. Gallery assistant for 6 months. Waitress for a year. Freelance artist, unemployed and desperate. Current position, none. She was broke and applying to work for me. Schedule her for an interview. I heard myself say, "Are you sure?" Her resume is weak. Friday at 2 p.m. The next 3 days were torture. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. What would I say? Did she even know this was my practice? Friday arrived. At 1:30, Jennifer buzzed. "Your 2 o'clock is here." My heart stopped. "Give me 5 minutes." There was a knock at the door. "Come in." Emma stepped in. She looked older. Short hair, borrowed blazer, nervous smile. Then she saw me. Really saw me. Every drop of color drained from her face. Her portfolio bag hit the floor. "Sarah?" "Hello, Emma." I gestured to the chair. My voice was calm. "Sit down." She stood frozen. I didn't. I had no idea that this was my practice. Surprise. I leaned back. "You're here for the receptionist position, correct?" She looked like she might throw up. Slowly, she sat down. Sarah, I swear I didn't know. Why not apply? It's a decent job, good benefits, stable hours. Exactly what someone with your work history needs. Her face flushed red. You don't have to be cruel. Cruel? I picked up her resume. Let's review. You graduated from RISC 7 years ago. The school mom and dad spent over $260,000 on. The school they sacrificed my entire future for. And since then, 7 different jobs. Not one lasting more than a year. The art industry is competitive, she said defensively. So is medicine. But I made it work. I looked into her eyes. What happened to all those big dreams? The galleries? The exhibitions? Mom and Dad were so proud. Where did that talent go? She was fighting back tears. It didn't go anywhere. I'm still an artist. I just need stable income until I catch my big break. Your big break. At 29, after 7 years of failing, I nodded slowly. And in the meantime, you need a job answering phones for your sister. The sister whose life you helped destroy. That's not fair, not fair. I slammed my hand on the desk. You want to talk about fair? Let's talk about how I dropped out of medical school because of you. How I took out $200,000 in loans. How I worked 80 hours a week while going to school. How I lived in an apartment with roaches. How our parents chose you over me every single time, and you knew it. She was sobbing. I was 19. I didn't understand. I did go to med school later. Do you know what that cost me? Not just money, time, opportunities, my mental health. I had panic attacks so bad I thought I was dying. All because you were more important. I didn't ask them to choose me over you, but you benefited from it. I stood up, shaking. You got your dream school, your art degree, your perfect life, and what did it get you? Nothing. You wasted it. Every penny, every sacrifice. And now you're here, in my office, begging me for a job. Silence. Emma was crying so hard she could barely breathe. I was standing there, chest heaving, 10 years of pain finally spilling out. You're right, she whispered. You're absolutely right. I wasted everything. Mom and Dad destroyed your life for nothing, and you still became successful. Despite all of us, she stood up. I don't deserve this job. I'll leave. She walked toward the door. For 10 years, I'd fantasized about this moment, making her beg, making her suffer, but watching her walk away broken, crying, lost, I didn't feel victorious. I felt empty. Emma, wait. She turned around, mascara running. Sit back down. She hesitated, then sat. I took a deep breath. I'm not going to hire you. Her face crumbled. But I'm going to help you. She looked up, confused. What? You need more than a job answering phones. You need to figure out what you actually want from your life, not what Mom and Dad want. What you want. I grabbed a business card and wrote on the back. This is a career counselor I know. Go see her. Have real conversations about whether art is actually your passion or just something you've been chasing because everyone told you to. Sarah, I can't afford. I'll pay for the sessions. Consider it the family support I never got. She stared at me in shock. Why would you help me after everything? Because someone told me that holding onto anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. I've been drinking that poison for 10 years. It hasn't hurt you. It's only hurt me. I slid the card across. I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for me. So I can finally let go. Fresh tears rolled down her face. I don't deserve your kindness. No, you don't. But I'm giving it anyway. She picked up the card with shaking hands. I'm sorry. For all of it, I know, and for what it's worth. I'm proud of you. You became a doctor despite everything. That's incredible. Something in my chest loosened. Thank you. She stood up. Mom and Dad talk about you now. To their friends. They brag about how their daughter is a successful doctor. Like they had anything to do with it. I laughed bitterly. Of course they do. They're too ashamed to call you. They know what they did was unforgivable. Good. They should be ashamed. I walked her to the door. Call that counselor. Get your life together. Not for them. For you. She nodded, whispered thank you, and left. Jennifer came in. So, are we hiring her? No, but I just did something more important, which was, I forgave someone who didn't deserve it, and freed myself. That was 2 months ago. Emma called the counselor. My mom finally called last week, first time in a year, and said Emma's decided to become an art teacher. She's enrolled in a certification program and seems happy. My parents want me to come to dinner to celebrate. I told them I'd think about it. They still haven't apologized. Not really. They want to pretend nothing happened. But you can't undo 10 years of damage with a dinner invitation. Maybe someday I'll be ready. Maybe never. And that's okay. I built a life I'm proud of. A life they have no claim to. I'm successful, independent, and at peace. If you made it to the end, thank you. If you've ever been the forgotten child, expected to sacrifice everything, I see you. You're not alone. Hit that like button if this resonated. Subscribe for more stories about standing up for yourself and breaking free from toxic family dynamics. Ring that bell so you never miss an upload. Drop a comment. Did I do the right thing? Should I give my parents another chance? I want to know what you think. Remember, your worth isn't determined by how your family treats you. It's determined by how you treat yourself. Stay strong. Set boundaries. Never give up on yourself. See you in the next video.